Good morning, everyone. I'm Riley King, and welcome to my morning news report right here on the Riley King Network. Take a look at these two photos right here. Man accused of shooting bishop during wedding at Pelham Church, officials say. Wedding guests subdued suspect before officers arrive, police say. Wedding guest helped subdue a man after he shot the bishop and bride at a church Saturday morning in Pelham, police said. Dale Holloway, 37, is accused of shooting Bishop Stanley Corte, 75, at the New England Pentecostal Ministries on Bridge Street. Holloway is charged with first-degree assault. He was also arrested on alternative counts of purposely and knowingly causing bodily injury by means of a deadly weapon, authorities said. Holloway is being held pending his arraignment, which is scheduled for 1 p.m. Tuesday. Coit suffered a gunshot wound to the chest and was taken to Tufts Medical Center in Boston, where he is being treated for serious injuries, authorities said. The bride, Claire McMullen, 60, suffered a gunshot wound to the arm, according to Assistant Attorney General Ben Adjet. A third victim, Mark Castigliano, 60, was hit in the head with an object. He was treated at a local hospital and released, officials said. No deaths have been reported in connection with the shooting. Guests of the wedding tackled and subdued Holloway until police arrived, officials said. Guests who subdued the suspect suffered minor injuries. Pelham police chief said this does not seem to be a random event at this point. Police said Holloway arrived at scene after the wedding begun. Authorities said they believe Mark Castigliano is the father of Brandon Castigliano, who is accused of killing Luis Garcia, 60, earlier this month. A celebration of life memorial service for Garcia was set for noon at the church. Garcia served as a minister at the church for 6 years. It's not known if the shooting was connected to the planned memorial service. Pelham police chief said the church underwent active shooter training within the past year. The NYPD Counterterrorism Bureau indicated in a tweet that it is following the developments of the shooting in Pelham. Anyone with information is asked to call the State Police Major Crime Unit at 603 MCU TIPS. Services at the church on Sunday are canceled. Officials said crisis counselors will be on hand at Sherburne Hall from 12 to 5 p.m. Sunday to assist members of the community in need. Family shares a story of deacon who helped tackle church shooting suspect. Let's listen to that story from WMUR News 9, Gene Mackin.
When family and friends come together on a beautiful day, what better place to be than in your own backyard?
I heard he jumped the shooter, and that's what we heard. And people were shot and injured, and we had no idea who was shot and injured at the time.
It was a trying few hours for Ren Archer when he heard about the shooting at the church where his father, Othniel, has served for years. The entire family knew this dedicated deacon and grandfather would be at a wedding in the balcony running the sound system.
And I immediately panicked because I know his dad is always at the church.
Ren's wife says Othniel finally reached the family by phone and shared what happened in the moments leading up to the shots that struck the bride and Bishop Stanley Choate, seen here giving us a church tour less than 2 weeks ago.
Inside here, the sanctuary.
When the man who did the shooting went into the church, he had his hood on, and so it kind of piqued his, suspicion of like, who's this guy coming into a wedding wearing a hood? And so he was already kind of keeping an eye on him.
He says right after the vows were exchanged and before the bishop could declare them husband and wife, the man approached.
The gentleman stood up and went towards the altar, and then that's when everything happened. Everybody started to run when they heard the shots, and when the shots started, and then he said, I need to get out of here, but then he stopped and said, no, I can't leave, and he went back and tackled the guy.
I think it's the greatest thing ever. Like that, my dad he didn't think about it. He just did it. That's just the kind of guy he is. He helps everybody any time of the day. My dad always jokes that he's played football. He's a linebacker and a quarterback. He always jokes about that. And we're like, yeah, sure, Dad. You're making all that up. And then he tackled somebody. We're like, he might actually be a linebacker.
And that linebacker is doing well tonight. He spent hours helping police, and he says other wedding guests also jumped in to help. This is a traumatic event for everyone. Church services are canceled tomorrow, and counselors will be available at Town Hall right next to the police department tomorrow from noon to 5 for anyone who wants to talk about what happened here today. Live in Pelham, Gene Mackin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and that is my morning news report right here on the Riley King Network, and there you go on that video of the family sharing the story of the deacon who helped tackle the church shooting suspect. I hope you all enjoyed this news report this morning. Have a wonderful rest of your Sunday, everyone. I'll see you back here later on today for another news report. Goodbye, everyone.